Hello everyone. I'll be taking 12th standard commerce and accountancy through this channel. Today let us see accountancy subject. There are nearly 10 units in accountancy. The first unit is accounts from incomplete records. Now let us see the meaning of incomplete accounting records, then features of incomplete accounting records, then limitations. Next we shall go to the problems. Okay. Let us start the lesson. The meaning of incomplete records. Maintenance of accounting records as per double entry system is compulsory for certain organization. For example, Indian companies as per the section 128(1) of the Indian Companies Act 2013, they must maintain accounting records, that is double entry system of bookkeeping. We have already seen about double entry system in the last year, 11th standard itself. Double entry system means debit and credit aspects. Both aspects should contain all the transactions. Okay. So double entry system should be strictly followed by the Indian companies. As the accounting records are not prepared in entirety as under the double entry system, these records are called as incomplete records. So when accounting records are not strictly maintained according to double entry system, these records are called incomplete accounting records. Simply we will call it as a single entry system. Here in the single entry system, cash account and personal accounts of the customers and creditors alone maintained. Other accounts need not be maintained. When it is necessary means the shopkeeper, that is the petty shopkeeper, they will prepare the other accounts. Nearly incomplete records are maintained by the small keepers, small sole traders alone, petty shop holders, not by the company organizations. Okay, so under the incomplete records, some transactions are recorded fully and sometimes they are not recorded fully. Okay, so both aspects, both debit and credit aspects are not entered fully in incomplete records. That is why called as single entry system of bookkeeping. Now we'll go to the features of incomplete records. First one is nature. So when we are considering about nature of incomplete records, here the accounting principles and accounting standards are not properly followed. It is called as unscientific and unsystematic way of record of transactions. Second one, the types of accounts which are all maintained by the incomplete records are cash and personal accounts alone. I think you already know about the three types of accounts, isn't it? Personal account, real account, nominal account. But here in the incomplete records, real account and nominal accounts are not maintained properly. Some transactions are completely omitted by the sole traders. Third aspect is lack of uniformity. There is no uniformity in recording the transaction among different organizations. Here the sole trader, the shopkeeper, what they are doing, they are recording the transactions according to the needs and convenience. So there is a lack of uniformity in incomplete records. This is one of the features of the incomplete records. Fourth feature of incomplete record is financial statements may not represent true and fair view. Here the financial statements means balance sheet, which consists of assets and liabilities. They are not representing the true and fair view. Since balance sheet is not prepared properly in the incomplete records, as they are not having the proper books of accounts, they could not prepare balance sheet accounts. So it is very important one. They are not representing the true and fair view of the state of affairs of the organizations, that is sole tradership. The next feature of incomplete record is suitability. It is suitable for small size sole traders and partnership firms alone. Since it's not having the double entry system of bookkeeping, it is not suitable for the company organizations which have more legal obligations. Okay, so say here the small size sole traders, they do not have any legal obligation to maintain the books of accounts. They won't prepare the books of accounts as per the double entry system of bookkeeping. Next one, mixing up of personal and business transaction. Generally, this personal transactions of owners, that is the owner who invests the money into the business, they are called as the owners, and their Personal transactions of the owners are mixed up with the business transactions. Sometimes the owner of the business, they may have withdraw goods for their own use. So that will be mixed up with the business purchases. So that is also one of the features of the incomplete records. So these are all the features of incomplete records we have seen. Next, we shall go to the limitations of incomplete records. Here we are seeing about the theories about incomplete records. Sometimes the 2 marks question and 3 marks question will be asked from these theory portions. So you should concentrate on theory also, not only in the problems. You should study the theory portion of the each chapter. Okay. The next one, limitations of incomplete records. This is very important one. First one, lack of proper maintenance of records. Here it is unscientific and systematic manner of book of accounts is maintained by sole trader. The real and normal accounts are not maintained properly. So this is one of the limitation of incomplete records. This is very important. Real and normal accounts are very important for business organizations, but it is not possible for sole trader, that is small size sole trader. They are not maintaining the proper books of accounts. They are having incomplete records only. Second one, difficulty in preparation of trial balance. As all the accounts are not maintained properly in this manner, in these incomplete records, it is not possible to prepare trial balance. Trial balance means to check the arithmetical accuracy of accounts. Okay, so in the double entry system only we have seen about the trial balance preparations, but that is not possible through the way of incomplete records. Trial balance consists of both three types of accounts: personal, real, nominal accounts. But we are having only 2 types of accounts in the incomplete records. Both cash and personal accounts alone maintained by the sole trader. So it's not possible for preparing the trial balance through the incomplete records. Next one, difficulty in ascertaining true profitability of the business. So profit is found out based on available information and estimate only. So not proper accounts of books are maintained. So it is not possible to find out the true profitability of the business. So it's difficult to ascertain correct value of the profit as the trading profit loss account is not prepared in the incomplete records. Next, let us see the difference between double entry system and incomplete records. The first difference is recording of transaction. In double entry system, both the debit and credit aspect of all the transactions are recorded. But in the incomplete records, debit and credit aspects are not recorded completely. Second difference is types of accounts maintained. There are nearly 3 accounts used to maintain by the double entry system of bookkeeping: personal, real, nominal accounts. But in the incomplete records, only personal and cash accounts are maintained fully. Real and nominal accounts are not maintained fully. Third one, trial balance can be prepared in the double entry system to check the arithmetical accuracy of entries made in the books of accounts. But in the incomplete records, it is difficult to prepare trial balance since they are not having all the books of accounts. Okay, so that is not possible to prepare the trial balance to check the arithmetical accuracy of entries what the businessman made in the books of accounts. Next one, determination of true profit or loss. Trading profit and loss account can be prepared to find out the true profit and loss. Since the double entry system is having all the accounts, all the types of accounts, so it is possible to find out the true profit and loss through the preparation of final accounts. But in the incomplete records, it is not possible since they are having the available data. With the available data, it's not possible to prepare the trading profit and loss account. The fourth difference is determination of true profit or loss. Trading profit and loss account can be prepared to find out true profit or loss in the double entry system. But in incomplete records, it is not possible to find out the true profit or loss since they are not having all the available data. So it is not possible to find out the profit and loss very easily, in an accurate manner. The next difference is determination of financial position. How we can find out the financial position means by preparation of balance sheet. In the double entry system, we are used to prepare the balance sheet. So it is possible to find out the true financial position of the concern. But in the incomplete records, it is not possible to find out the true financial position since they are not having the balance sheet. Okay, so it is not possible to find out the assets and liabilities as they are having the estimate only and incomplete records. Okay, the next difference is suitability. Double entry system is suitable for all type of organizations. Incomplete records suitability. It is suitable for all types of organization. Double entry system. Incomplete records is suitable for only small size sole traders and partnership firms alone. Next difference is reliability. Since the types of accounts are maintained by the double entry system of bookkeeping, it is reliable one. And based on the certain accounting principles and standard, the accounting records maintained through the double entry system is reliable one. But in the case of incomplete records, it is not reliable because it's unscientific method of bookkeeping. Last difference is acceptability. Double entry system of bookkeeping is used by acceptable to all the users including tax authorities and financial institutions. Here the incomplete records may not be acceptable to all the users. Next, let us see the accounts from incomplete records. Ascertainment of profit and loss from incomplete records by preparation of statement of affairs. How we can find out the profit and loss through the incomplete records means here the data available are not clearly prepared by the sole trader. So it's in the businessman, the sole trader, they cannot prepare the profit and loss in an accurate manner. They are preparing the profit and loss statements by the way of the preparation of statement of affairs. That is called as the net worth method or capital comparison method. What is capital comparison method means? Comparing the capital in the beginning and capital at the end by preparation of the statement of affairs. The statement of affairs is the statement showing the balance of assets and liabilities on the particular date. So it is called as the capital comparison method. Next, let us see the calculation of profit and loss through the statement of affairs. The difference between closing capital and opening capital is taken as profit or loss of the business. Some adjustments will be made for any withdrawal of capital from the business and for the additional capital introduced in the business. So let us see the formula for calculating the adjusted closing capital. Closing capital plus drawings minus additional capital, we can find out the adjusted closing capital. By comparing the adjusted closing capital and with the opening capital, the profit or loss can be ascertained. If the difference is positive figure means it's a profit. If it is negative means it's a loss. Here they are given in your book. They are given the formula for finding the profit and loss through the statement of affairs. Closing capital, add drawings, less additional capital, less opening capital. Next we will get profit or loss. Anyone. Okay. Now let us get into the problems. First of all, we shall see the format of finding out the profit and loss through the statement of profit and loss method. Now let us see the format of preparing the statement of profit and loss. In your accounting notebook, you should use the single side. You need not have the two sides of papers. Okay. Since it is a single entry system of bookkeeping, we do not use debit and credit aspect. As usually you are having the particulars column, no. You should write the particulars and then come to the two columns. First column and second column. You should write the amounts in the second column only. You should not use the first column. Okay. So first one, capital at the end. You should write the amount given in the questions in the second column only. Next, add drawings. With the capital at the end, you should add the drawings amount. After adding the drawings from the capital at the end, you are getting one amount, isn't it? From that, deduct additional capital introduced in the business. That is called as adjusted closing capital. From that, deduct opening capital. You are getting profit or loss. If suppose adjusted closing capital is more than opening capital, means you are getting profit. If suppose opening capital is more than adjusted closing capital, means we will be getting loss. Okay. So this is the format we use to find out the profit and loss through the single entry system of bookkeeping. First, we shall go to the illustration 1. From the following particulars, ascertain profit or loss. Here in the questions itself, they are given the capital in the beginning, capital at the end, additional capital and drawings. We are going to prepare the statement of profit or loss, means take the capital at the end from the question, that is 3,50,000, add drawings less additional capital, we are getting adjusted closing capital. Closing capital, add drawings less additional capital, we will be getting adjusted closing capital. From that, deduct opening capital. Now we shall see whether it is a profit or loss. Here adjusted closing capital is 3,20,000, but opening capital is 2 lakhs. We are getting the positive answer. Adjusted closing capital is more than the opening capital. So we are getting profit. Is it clear? What is the concept of preparing the profit or loss here means the sole trader, since they are not preparing the books of accounts in a scientific manner, that is double entry system of bookkeeping, by their memory itself they are preparing the profit and loss. How much they have invested in the business, that is known as opening capital. From the opening capital, how much they are withdraw the money that they are used to deduct from that. Sometimes they may put the additional capital into the business. That should be added. This is another method of preparing the profit and loss. I will say about it. First one, opening capital. Opening capital, if suppose the businessman is investing additional capital, means we should add the additional capital. After doing the business, if suppose he withdraw some money for their own use, personal use, means at that time it is called as drawings. That should be deducted from that. Here we will having the adjusted opening capital. Adjusted opening capital. From this adjusting opening capital, we should deduct the closing capital. We will see the profit or loss. Okay, this is also another method of preparing the profit and loss through the incomplete records. See the illustration 2. Capital as on 1st April 2018. 1st April means this is opening capital. 1st April means opening capital. Capital as on 31st March means this is known as closing capital. Additional capital introduced during the year 25,000. Drawings made during the year 30,000. So first method we can use it. Closing capital, add drawings, less additional capital, we will be getting adjusted closing capital. Then from the deduct opening capital, we are getting profit or loss. How we can get the loss means, here see the book. 1,55,000 is adjusted closing capital. Opening capital is 1,60,000. Compare these two amount. Here opening capital is more than closing capital. We are getting the negative sign. At the same time, adjusted closing capital. Now what we are having in our hand is less than opening capital. So we are getting the loss. Is it clear? I'll explain again. The businessman invests 1,60,000 in the beginning, but at the at the end of the year, he is having 1,55,000 only. So by comparing the two amounts, they are earning only loss 5,000 only. So we can see this we can find out the profit and loss through this method also. Okay, next let us see the illustration 3. So nearly 5 illustrations in your books. These 5 illustrations when you go through means you can do the exercise by yourself. Okay, so third illustration, the same problem, same type of illustration only. Format we are going to follow. Closing capital 1,90,000, additional capital 50,000, drawings made during the year 30,000, find out opening capital. Here the loss is given. So the loss is given means how we have to make adjustment with the closing capital. Now let us see the explanation. Here closing capital 1,90,000 as usual format. Drawings should be added, additional capital should be deducted. We are getting adjusted closing capital. Okay, so here loss only we are having in the question. So put the amount loss 40,000. So how we can get 40,000? By adding 1,70,000 and 40,000 we can get the opening capital. Okay, add 1,70,000 and 40,000 we can have the opening capital. Otherwise that is another method. Another method to find out the opening capital. That means if you are preparing the statement of profit and loss by the closing capital, by starting the closing capital means add loss less profit. This is another method. If you are starting the problem from the closing capital means in the question they are giving loss means we should add the amount. If suppose profit is given means we should deduct the amount. This is another method to find out the opening capital. Okay, so note it down. Next illustration, fourth one. Capital lesson 1st January 2018, 27,500 goods taken for the personal use. It means drawings. The proprietor, he may withdraw goods or cash from the business for their personal use. If suppose they are doing the grocery store means for their own personal use, family use, they are taking the goods, rices and other vegetables from the grocery store means that is known as the personal use. It is called as drawings. Sometimes they are taking cash for the personal use to pay the money for the children college fees or paying the LIC premium like that. So that is also called as the drawings. So they are in the question. Sometimes they are giving the sentence like that. Instead of giving drawings, they will be giving goods taken for the personal use. You already seen about personal use in the 10th standard, 11th standard accountancy itself. So you should not have the doubt about drawings. Next one, additional capital introduced, profit for the year. Here in this question they are asked to calculate capital at the end. The question is given from the opening capital. So we are going to prepare calculate the capital at the end from the capital in the beginning itself. Okay, so first one, capital at the beginning. We have already seen the format. No, capital at the beginning. Capital beginning plus additional capital. From that less drawings. Okay, here profit is given. Capital in the beginning is started means we should add profit. This is one more clue. Less loss. So we have started the problem from the capital at the beginning. So here profit is given. So add profit. We will get capital at the end. Okay, capital at the beginning. Additional capital. I will explain again. The person on who invests as on 1st January 2018, 27,500, he introduced some more capital, 2,500. So that should be added. During the time of business, he withdraw 5,000 from the business. So that should be deducted from the opening capital. Lastly, they are earning profit. So that is the earnings for the businessman. So he is add the profit. Last we shall get the answer, that is closing capital. Okay, this is very simple one. Instead of following the book manner, you can use this method also. Then last illustration 5. This is the same method. Capital, in this problem, opening capital, closing capital is given. You should find out the drawings. Okay, so how to find out drawings? You can prepare the statement of profit or loss by starting opening capital as well as by starting from the closing capital. In both the methods you can get the same answer only. You can follow any one of the method. Okay, closing capital, add additional capital, opening capital, add additional capital, Add profit less closing capital. You are getting the answer. Okay. So see the answer. Closing capital. Here in the books they are given in a reverse manner. Okay. So we already seen the format. No. As per that rule you can do the problem. Okay. I'll explain again. Opening capital is given. Take the opening capital. Additional capital should be added. I already told no. Profit should be added. Last one, closing capital should be deducted. You can get drawings. Is it clear? So this is the last illustrations under the statement of profit or loss method. Like this, there are nearly 5 exercises given in your books. You can do the problems, exercise problems by go through the illustration itself. Okay. Hope everyone understood. We have seen the meaning of incomplete records, features and limitations of incomplete records, and also we have seen the difference between double entry system and single entry system. At last we have seen about the how to find out the profit and loss under incomplete records by preparing the statement of profit or loss method, isn't it? Tomorrow let us see how to find out profit or loss through the statement of affairs method. Thank you.